gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
bit.
now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap, no co-host today, but we have a special guest warming up here in a little bit. Hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. It is regional quarterfinal night, so good luck to my daughter and team as they just won the first district championship ever in their school's girls lacrosse history, and playing home. They get their first regional game is at home due to being the higher seed. If they win tonight, I think they'll be traveling for the game next week. But big evening in the world of high school lacrosse, and hopefully it is not with any luck, it won't be the final game. Although likely to be the final home game of her high school career. So big. I don't know. She probably doesn't care. Bigger dad moment than daughter moment, but she'll move on and be just fine. But little sentimental for myself. Speaking of a little sentimental, our guy Hizzy picked up a mutant, joined the club last night. Long time coming. Congrats. It is a fire mutant too, if I do say. I know Dort, the real OTC desk, Dort out there helping Grizzy, helping Hizzy pick up a Grail. Maybe this is the new Hizzy now with the Grail mutant. He rebrands to Grizzy. The Grail meets Hizzy. Fire mutant indeed. Zombie with the rainbow grill, the grill for grail for Hizzy, the Grizzy. I don't know. I may rewind and start this over today. But GM, everyone, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate all the early GMers. We are live on X, Audio Spaces. We're live on X Video. We are live on YouTube. And unfortunately, we are not live on Abstract this morning. I don't know what it is. I'm actually going to share. If anyone has been streaming on Abstract and has gotten this error, this is the first time seeing this. So I just paste the X video source and it just gives me this error: missing or invalid user authentication. I'm loaded in. It's my account. No idea why. This just started. First time seeing it, but yeah, it's no luck. Let me go try. I'll grab the. I don't think the YouTube will feed. Feed will work. I always just share X, but I'll copy paste the YouTube link and see if that works. If not, we'll be without abstract video today. Yeah, it's only X or Twitch, but I get the official X and it's just not working. So no ideas. First time seeing that one. Sorry, y'all, but we will. Maybe abstract is just finally rugging me. They said we're not going to give you any XP, and we're not going to let you stream anymore. I don't know. I'm not fudding abstract. Just a little unsure of what their plans are there. We'll try one more time. Yeah, no luck. So no abstract stream today, but we are live on X. Good reminder, if you're a normal abstractor, if you normally hang out in the abstract chat, head over to YouTube, smash that like and subscribe over there. We are approaching 500 subscribers, which will unlock some new features and do some more fun stuff. It's also a Wednesday, so we're 2 days away from a coffee with Captain. I did pin up Thursday's show reminder up top as well. You can hit that as we get things warmed up here. Would greatly appreciate all the love. The title, we'll get something more title proper here in a bit, but even Hizzy rocking the first morning as a mutant, the GM with the coffee mug and nice background. Loki, I don't know how you don't have a mutant yet. Someone's been showing up on this app and bull posting NFTs for years. The reality is you need to have a mutant. If you're in NFTs, if you're passionate about NFTs, you need to be in the club. Otherwise, you're like, it might be the worst sidelined you could be. They are going to lead the surge. You know it when you see punks like starting to talk about apes flipping punks and starting to get a little anxious. It's programmed. It has been written. So yeah, Loki, go get a mutant, join the club. A lot of new members entering the club. Not new crypto participants, not new people entering crypto, but people in the space and getting on the train before it leaves the station. You love to see it. Ripping up once again, up another 15% on the day. Up over 9 ETH now, 9.0 ETH as we start the show. Mutants 1.38. Hizzy, I think that buy is going to. I think that will age well. Speaking of aging well, picked up a little Apester. That's up 50% on the day. Let me just hit the token work so I'm not misspeaking here. The flywheel is about to start flywheeling. Doing flywheel things. Take me a minute to navigate. Yes, Apester is 3.32 million market cap, up 53%. I was shortchanging it, 53% on the day. And here is, well, there's at least two they're gonna sell, unless I'm mistaken. These are going to sell like any minute now. You got one. Who's deep in Token Works? Because I think now I know they list for a 20% premium. I don't know as if this is their buy price or their listing price. Price 8.9. View on marketplace. I mean, it looks like it's sold. Let's see. No, Help me. Who's Dord or anyone that's been a little deeper in the TokenWorks arena? I don't. It shows price 8.9. It's not listed though. And let's look at another one that's a little higher and see what that looks like. Yeah, also not listed. Not great TV, I know. I'll stop playing around. I'll do more research later. My thought was that there's one at 8.9, one at 9.03, and then it jumps to 9.86, 9.88, 9.97. So there's 5 total under 10 ETH that they had bought. They hold 45 NFTs. So, but there's not really much of a wall. They acquire one at 39 ETH. They didn't launch when it was 39 ETH, I don't think. They've got one at 30, one at 39 and 0.6, and another at 39.6. I wonder if that was a glitch. Because the other top ones are at 18 ETH, which is what I was thinking where the floor was around when that started. But they have burnt 14% of the token supply of Apester. Yeah, I think that those listings sell, and that basically means when one of these sells, it's 9 ETH worth. Like we've seen success with Chimster, we've seen success with Good Vibes Club, Punk originally, Punkster, but this is, you can buy a lot of Apester for 9 ETH. I could see now again, it's up. You buy dips and sell rips, so not when it's up 53%. Not the. So I do check chat. It just takes me a minute. It's the price to pay. So listing price. I still don't understand. So the two that we were looking at 8.9 and 9.03, that's the listing price, right? And then they always buy the next cheapest NFT. But these are ones that they hold. Yeah, when it acquires another 8.92 ETH off of the fees, it'll go buy another ape. I'm looking at sales. I don't know. It doesn't matter other than I do think there's a few that it's holding that it'll sell soon, and then it'll be cheapest NFT on the market, 9.2. Must be a lag in the oracles as well, I'm guessing, because it's token site showing the cheapest one listed is 9.2, but the actual floor is 9.08. You got to go, and I don't even see one listed for 9.2. So it's showing 9.25. It's showing this one that, okay, it is actually listed at 9.25. So it says the cheapest one to buy is 9.25, but actually there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 listed below that. Again, it doesn't really matter. I think that as momentum starts moving, what's the beta trade? You can go buy ape, you go buy mutant. You think the next NFT collection to run, or do we see another TokenWorks season? Does the flywheel start flywheeling? And the flywheel can get exciting when number goes up and goes up aggressively. But maybe you go down another layer and you look at something like, I don't know. I'm just trying to see. There's a deed strategy, but there's no coda strategy. That's what I was going to look for. Is there a coda strategy? Is that another way to play this? But there is no coda strategy. One thing I bought a little Apester. I did long Hyperliquid. I think I may fire up I think I might buy some more Rect. Yeah, you can buy it for that price. I'm confused, but you can buy it for that price, but I also thought they listed on OpenSea, no? or those are listed on TokenWorks and they don't list on OpenSea. I for some reason I was thinking those were all listed on OpenSea, but I'm not seeing it. Anyways, I'm going to move on from TokenWorks, not explaining it well. I'm not getting it fully myself still. Even think I would by now, but such is life. I've been bull posting. My post this morning was a little forward looking. Never any financial advice in the show. I'm not a financial advisor, certainly not yours, especially when I talk about things like ETH to 10K and the road to 100K to 250K was easy in hindsight. Up only returned. OpenSea, Mega ETH, and 40 others just TGE'd. Figgy just shared the roadmap 3.0 at the Clubhouse, ribbon cutting during Ape Fest. This is November 2026. While NFTs are running, tokens are up. We had good 2-3% on the day. Fear and greed went from extreme fear all the way up to 61 on the crypto fear and greed chart. Yeah, no abstract stream today. I can't get it working. There's something's broken with the, it's just not allowing me to go live. So I have no idea why it won't start the stream, but we are only on X Video, YouTube, and X Audio Spaces. Hit that like and subscribe over on YouTube while you're there. While I am bull posting, it does feel like we are back in the sense that NFT season 2.0 is underway. A little bit of crypto momentum is underway. I'm not naive to the fact that macro is still crazy. Global uncertainty is still at or near all-time highs, and we probably get some new curveball thrown at us at 4:45 p.m. on Friday. I think things could be extremely volatile, but I do feel, even despite like the current uptick in not just price, but uptick in sentiment, I feel that this is like the calm before the storm. And what I mean by that is there's so much happening right now. Positive. I know people think it might be boring. Zonko just posted an article from end of March about tokenization of stocks officially happening on Canton Network. Very interesting. TradFi Capital plumbing using them as their L1 of choice. You've got tokenization of stocks. You've got Stripe using stable coins to pay DoorDashers. You've got, the Clarity Act. I mean, who knows what's happening? I guess Friday is a hard deadline on this Clarity Act. I'm definitely not the political expert by any stretch of the imagination, but my understanding is they've got until Friday so I don't know if they have to have the markups in. Basically, my understanding, they got till Friday to mark up the Clarity Act to basically then either vote on it, pass it, it goes to the president's desk for signature, or there's some markup that sends it back again for another vote. If not, so apparently the Senate Banking Committee has until April 25th, which is this Friday, or the Clarity Act risks being shelved until 2030. I don't understand why it would be, if it's not done by Friday, why we're pushing it out 3 years. But the legislative calendar math is brutal. Miss April, and the bill gets consumed by midterm politics, recess, and the campaign season. I get that, but then why wouldn't it be back on the docket in 2027? Like, I understand we got midterms coming, elections in November, people campaigning, and it's just they're not going to prioritize something like this. Okay, I get that, but I don't understand why not 2027 then, why all the way out to 2030? If anyone understands that or can educate me, I would appreciate it. So as of this morning, Chairman Tim Scott has not set a markup date. He named 3 remaining issues on Monday: stablecoin yield language, DeFi provisions. Also, probably not great timing to get a Clarity Act passed with any sort of DeFi provisions when it's been, the bloody, I don't even know, bloody 4 months of DeFi, one exploit after another. And then Republican committee unity. All three could be resolved in 2 weeks, but 2 weeks puts us past early May, which is past the window. So mixed signals. Senator Haggerty says markup could happen this work period. Bissett is publicly calling for it. Coinbase CPO penciled in a May Senate floor vote. CoinDesk reported on Tuesday that the bill still has a path, but it's narrow and the clock is running. Well, again, why all this matters, it's consequential piece of U.S. crypto legislation. Jesus, I can't speak this morning. 2030 delay means 4 more years without a legal market framework. The industry is watching Congress in real time this week. Yeah, I still am confused why we'd be looking out at 2030, but I'll take everything I'm reading at face value and that's how this thing's going to roll. So kind of under the pressure there. The other thing that like no one is talking about is, or at least I haven't seen it, is this U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve coming back in the conversation. Apparently, the White House is expected to unveil some sort of formal architecture for this in short order, potentially within weeks. Executive order, if you remember, was signed over a year ago. It was March of 25. And obviously, the U.S. government already holds a bunch of Bitcoin. It's about a little over 300,000 Bitcoin. The Bitcoin Act is pending in Congress to codify the reserve into law and define governance. Missing piece still is, the executive order established a reserve, but Congress needs to authorize it permanently and set some sort of accumulation strategy and fund operations. Are they just going to roll in confiscated funds? Or are they going to actually start buying Bitcoin? Who knows? But I think what I've never seen anyone really talking about, other than maybe when Fish got announced as a speaker, is we have Bitcoin Vegas. The Bitcoin conference is next week happening in Vegas, and Paul Atkins is confirmed to attend. I'm expecting something on the topic. Maybe it's just more just hype and nothing of real substance, but I kind of expect to hear some sort of material announcement next week. If we get actually a legislatively authorized strategic reserve, might be the most structurally bullish macro development in Bitcoin's history. Because it's not going to stop there. It's not just going to be the U.S. government. If it gets finalized and they're actually doing the thing, you could expect more states to push forward. You could expect more nation states to push forward. And so you have this high-level acquisition, not just Saylor, not just MicroStrategy, the U.S. government in this strategic reserve. I'm going to check ETF inflows now because I'm pretty sure they've been pretty positive. Obviously, all the stablecoin stuff. And yet we're still, if you survey a lot of crypto Twitter, it's like still gloom and doom, still depression. In fact, per the title, I would encourage you to listen later today, not right now, but later today, listen to Kobe's interview with Thread Guy. And I think he flipped Thread Guy from bearish to bullish just during the interview. Now, Kobe, himself, is a optimistic individual and going to look at on the positive side of things and be hopeful. I just think this whole, it wasn't that long ago. What, 6 months? 7, 8, October, November. So November, December, January, February, March, April. 6 months ago. 6 months ago, we were at all-time high. 6 months ago, we were at 126K. Then 10-10 happened. And everything crashed. People got liquidated. And then conflict in Iran broke out. And we're still holding strong. We're still at 78K, nearly $80,000. Pretty crazy if you really think about everything that's transpired. And Bitcoin still holding strong, ETH still 2,400. could be a lot worse. And I think one of the big takeaways from Kobe's, Bitcoin has net inflows basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days in a row now, been net inflows. There was one down day, and then for basically every day minus one, as we look back, has been positive net inflows for Bitcoin. I think ETH similar. ETH actually green across the board. ETH just like this stuff didn't exist in last cycles. There was no ETFs. There was no strategic reserve, so to speak of. Plus 43 million, plus 67 million, plus 127 million, plus 18 million, plus 67 million, plus 53 million, plus 9 million, plus 65 million, plus 85 million. 12 billion in total net inflows. And then on top of it, you have things like the ETH strategic reserve and Tom Lee sitting on nearly 5% of the supply. This is still lagging, still not updated. This site used to be great, and then they've like, I don't know if something broke or they just stopped updating it, but yeah, Tom Lee is now, I'm pretty sure he's over 4% now. Over 5 million ETH, I believe, 10 billion USD. All this positive stuff happening, all these like real tailwinds, and yet because many of us here haven't been able to participate in the upside of some of these institutional plays. Stablecoins, like how do I make money off stablecoins? You know, you like Zonko was talking about Temple. Like some of these are just, they're not accessible to all of us. And alts haven't pumped. NFTs just now are starting to pump. Diego saying, yeah, we need people to buy our bags. That's what's going to bring cinema back. But when that happens, like you want to have your bags packed, not be scrambling to pack your bags. And I'm not saying go and take out a second mortgage and go all in on some extremely risky speculative asset. But there's so much exciting stuff happening. So many things that were pipe dreams not that long ago. My big takeaway from Kobe's interview was, with all this happening, while you may not be trading oil or you may not care about tokenized stocks, you may not care about Stripe and stablecoin payments, as more and more capital comes on chain, as more liquidity comes on chain, it's like, I think it's inevitable. At some point, those funds work their way down the risk curve. Maybe it's not alts. Maybe it's not NFTs. Maybe it's the next thing. But when it happens, it's like this beach ball underwater type effect, because there's so much more liquidity on chain now than in past cycles. Things could move in a hurry. Like, you know, in the last month alone, apes and mutants have almost 2x'd. Think about that. They're up 81, both of them are up 81% in the last 30 days. During what most would like consider a down market, or some still think we're in a bear. I don't think we're in a bear, but I think it's certainly not full on raging bull. People aren't making money everywhere across the board. And while apes and mutants are up 81%, and you're seeing many other NFT collections, at least the leading ones run, it's all those that are already here. It's existing active participants. It's people making aspirational buys. People like Hizzy going and picking up their first mutant. People, that I've seen a lot of people, and this isn't, I'm not making this PvP, but I saw Don yesterday. I've seen a lot of people that have rocked Pudgies. They're like deep in the Pudgy ecosystem, and they just picked up their first ape. Not that they're leaving the huddle, not that they're even swapping their PFP. Although I did see our friend Glenn from Arbitrum switched his and just commented about the added engagement getting from the 8 PFP and the support of the community and how deep they roll. What we're seeing right now is consolidation. It's people here that are sensing that the bottom was in, or believe the bottom was in, and not knowing exactly how high we go. I don't see many people saying, "Oh yeah, we're going." I did see someone yesterday said Pudgies and Azuki are going back to 100K. Maybe. I don't know. And it's not about Pudgies or Azuki or apes or punks. I don't. This cycle will be very different, but I think a lot of us, because we get so down and burnt from rugs to 10-10 to this seeming like the bear was forever, we get down and forget how quickly things can change. This again goes both directions. We were euphoric in October. Bitcoin's 126K. We're on our way to 250K, and then 10 hits, and a few months later, it's like it's over. Crypto's boring. Nothing's happening. I don't know. Like, we've seen some of the most successful crypto dApps, arguably ever, launched in this past cycle. And I'm not a meme coiner. Will I trade them every once in a while? Yeah, sure. But I'm not out there launching dozens of tickers on Pump Fun. Pump Fun has printed $1 billion. Hyperliquid's printed $1 billion. Like, these are like Hyperliquid's one of the, if not the most profitable company per employee in the world. And it's bringing a lot of new people on chain. Now, a lot of them aren't coming on chain to trade JPEGs or trade alts. They're coming on chain to trade oil on the weekends. Guess what happens after they book a few wins and they have all this extra capital on chain? Most people don't rotate it back out. Most people, like some will, and just keep their portfolio balanced as exactly as they want. Others are going to very quickly find themselves with a lopsided portfolio and far more on chain than they ever anticipated. And then it's like, okay, where else can I take some shots at on chain? How do I flex my digital wealth in these wins I just hit? Well, they're not changing their PFP to the Hyperliquid ticker. They may go buy a Hyper. Maybe they go pick up an ape. Maybe they go pick up a punk. And this is back to Kobe's point in the Thread Guy interview, is there's so much capital coming on chain, from stablecoin utilization to commodities. Hyperliquid's launching their perp deck soon. When there's a next thing, whether it's NFT season 2.0 or there's something else that none of us are thinking of, it could get silly really, really fast. And that's where I think, like, while it seems to be exciting right now, I still think it's kind of the calm before the storm. Because all this run up, like, for what? Like, what's been the catalyst? Like, I'm a big fan of Figgy, and I think it was a great move. I think Garger's in a great seat. I think Figgy's in a great seat. I think it's good for the club. They started doing the focus renewed on the club, I feel. In real life meetups are, very popular amongst the community. But does a board paintball club meetup in Tampa justify an 81% lift in the floor? No. The weekend with Snoop, does that justify an 81% lift in the floor? No. It's more forward-looking speculation, I feel, that others may not fully understand why. But there is so much exciting stuff happening in crypto. It's hard to see not some of the historical winners win again. And it doesn't take much. The supply is so small. When we're talking NFTs, like 10,000 supply is nothing. And there's never 10,000 of these on the market for existing collection. There's usually a few hundred. A few hundred can go like that. And are some people going to sell when floor rips up? Yeah, sure. It's a lot harder to sell when things are ripping than you'd think. Especially those who saw it happen before. It happens so fast. So I think maybe we have a lull this summer. That maybe they say you sell in May and go away and go touch grass, enjoy the summer. OFS on the show last Friday sided with me. I think this year is different. I don't think it's a sell in May and go away. I think, and I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like NFT summer of 21. I don't think it's just going to be NFTs. I think it could be something new, something weird that none of us are thinking of right now. And it's going to look really weird when it launches, just like monkey JPEGs probably seemed really weird to a lot of people when they launched. It's also directly from Kobe in that interview is like, when you see the new thing, don't try to understand why it's happening. Don't try to, oh, this is weird. This is never going to work. Don't try to think about reasons why it's not going to work. Think about what if it does work. Experiment, play around with things, try new stuff. Don't go spending money you can't afford to lose. But if you've got a bucket of asymmetrical funds, bucket you take big swings with, I think we're closer to those big swings landing than we've been in a long time. I don't know what it's going to be outside of what we already know and talk about, but many of us, myself included, didn't think prediction markets were going to be the next big thing. I thought it'd fizzle and fade following the last election cycle. The exact opposite happened. There's going to be another thing. There's going to be something else on chain. I see we got a few hands. We'll get to all of our guests here in a second. I'm struggling for words to properly define my feelings. I don't want to just seem like, oh, it's just pure Cap's just on his perma bull streak again, and it's just pure hopium. Yes, I'm an optimist. I've not been perma bullish. Long term, maybe, but this is the closest I felt to like, okay, we're really close to another season. Another like full risk on season where it's running back DeFi summer, it's running back NFT season. Like I don't know what meme mania. Like I don't know what is going to be next. It's really hard to connect those dots looking forward, but I feel pretty confident this time next year it'll be much easier to look back and be like, oh, that was it. That was the thing. That was the big moment. That was the not just what was a onboarding mechanism, and part of it, hey, it's people making money that feels accessible to the masses. Whether those who are here and experimenting, they saw people printing in DeFi summer, whether it was people saw people buying Top Shot packs for $9 and flipping one of those cards in the pack for $900. People, started seeing people race and breed digital horses and printing money. People started seeing, people mint some monkey JPEGs and, a year later, they got a 6-figure airdrop. Like, I think there's two things. One, those that have been here, the active participants, there's going to be some windfall at some point. How big? I don't know. Maybe it's a few $1,000. Maybe it's 6 figures. Maybe it's 7 figures for some. But the whole, it's not like the airdrop season's not a meme. Like it's real. Like there's 40 plus companies that are going to TGE at some time. From the OpenSeas, the Mega East, the abstracts, and all the way down the everything in between. Like there's a lot of tokens to come. Not all of them are going to hit. Most of them will fail. But we've seen numerous times, we've seen failed protocols, failed projects lead to 4, 5, 6-figure stimmies. Maybe people just take their stimmies and go buy Bitcoin or gold or oil, and there's no momentum in the trading space. I find that hard to believe. So we've got all the stuff happening at a high level, all the institutions coming on chain, all this extra capital coming on chain. We've got another water ball underwater, or another beach ball underwater, in the sense of all these TGEs that are just waiting. That capital is going to go somewhere. I don't think it goes in people's checking accounts. I think we're just, this calm before the storm is like almost waiting. What is going to be the next big meta? Maybe there is something with AI agents that they run back again that's better, more well thought out than just chatbots. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I mean, I saw someone yesterday saying that they think, these agents will buy NFTs and flex their, they'll buy domains, they'll buy, like, maybe that happens. I still tend to think like the next big moment, the next big wave in crypto is something that none of us are talking about. No one's thought of yet. Just like people weren't saying the next big wave in 2021, people weren't saying in 2020, people weren't saying the next big wave in crypto is going to be NFTs. They were deep in DeFi summer. And most people weren't thinking that, oh, there's, NFTs are going to be the next big onboarding mechanism, the next big, meta of crypto. Just like now, I don't think many, maybe there's some people that have nailed it, but I really do think it's going to be something entirely new, entirely different. I have no idea what it might be, but I think with all the tailwinds, everything positive happening in the space, everything in process happening in the space, I think we're getting really close. And maybe the whole sell and may go away. Maybe it's Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin just chops and we don't see all-time high until Q4. That's also okay. Like Bitcoin ran and then we had 1010 and everything else hasn't really ran yet. Maybe this is like a flop lag and everything has just kind of been waiting for a little bit of certainty. And yeah, I'm going to end my rant there. I see Joey's hand. I see Ilan on stage, Machiavelli and Hizzy rocking that fire mutant. Let's go Joey, Ilan, Mac, and then we will round out with the new mutant, Hizzy and his Grail mutant. Joey, GM, what brought you up?
GM, a couple things. The first thing is you mentioned prediction markets. You honestly didn't think prediction markets would stick after the election cycle? I
mean, I didn't think they would go away, but I never thought they'd become as big as they have been.
I mean, I think, I don't know, for me, they've been, like I've told the story before, they've been big for years, so I didn't expect them to ever go away as much as people love to gamble on things.
Yeah. But that's my point. They've been around. They've been big for years. And they gained a lot of steam during the election cycle because of the election. And so to me, it was easy to see like, oh, they're just going to go back to where they were. Not go to zero, but I did not think they would start crushing sports books and taking like they've had a tremendous leap forward, at least Kalshi and Polymarket. And I did not foresee that. No.
That's fair. I think that's a better explanation than what you quickly said before. Cause maybe they didn't. Anyways, I don't know. I love the. I mean, I've been here for so long, building here. Like, I love the technology of NFTs. I'm just not sure that what we're seeing now is going to continue. I feel like there's just some hopium going around PFP NFTs. And people are buying into that. Like, I unless there's a drastic change around what PFP NFTs are, I just don't see them pumping or continuing to go up beyond where they are. Honestly, where they were a few months ago. I think this pump we're seeing right now is a big hopium pump. I feel like we're at a state where we need more. We need more than just digital identity. We need more than just an online club. And yes, people are building it, right? Like, we've got a lot of companies have branched out and started doing more things, right? You've got Rect and all of their energy drinks and powders and seltzers and all this stuff like that. And you've got Bored Ape launching an IRL club, and Good Vibes Club just launched a whole studio and for their holders, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm just not sure that people are going to be buying things for digital identity like they did before for status. And unless these companies find a way to actually deliver value, and I'm not saying value as in money. I'm not saying drop a token, free money, all that stuff. but actually deliver value back to their holders where the holders feel like it's worth it to spend like an ape right now, almost $25,000. I just don't see how these numbers are going to hold. We've been here before and they didn't hold. They plummeted. And yes, we had all kinds of other reasons, bear markets and all this other stuff happened and whatever. It's really hard for me to see, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy or a Debbie Downer or anything like that, because again, I love NFT technology. I just think we need more. And that's why I think there's other companies out there that are starting to utilize this technology that are not just focused on digital identity, that are probably going to lead that charge. Like, and this is not here to like, like to show BAYC, but there are a lot of companies that are doing things with NFTs that are tied to real world assets that are still not talked about. Like the RWA market is so massive. It probably makes the PFP NFT market look tiny when you go and you do the research of how massive the RWA market is. But it doesn't get talked about because it's not sexy. It's not fun. Like people don't care about the tokenization of coal or the tokenization of diamonds or, all these assets that are being brought on chain in the RWA market. Like it's not fun to talk about. And if we're going to bring real money on chain, it has to have real implications beyond just a digital identity.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think digital identity alone does it. I think what we're seeing though is the real money's on chain. It's coming on chain. It's been on chain, and more and more is coming. I don't think anything is necessarily slowing it down. I do think that, yes, I agree with you. The RWA front is massive, from collectibles and platforms like BAYC to our friends over at Doma and what they're doing. I had a chance, we did another Doma on air episode yesterday. And while the first three, we've had mostly guests that were like OG domainers. This guy yesterday-ish got started in domains in 2021 from a Clubhouse space, was talking about digital land in the sense of Decentraland, and a domainer came on thinking he was talking about that form of digital real estate being domains. Massive, massive industry. And by bringing it on chain, it's unlocking more capabilities. So whether you're talking domains or stablecoin payments, when my point is not just what's loading is not just NFT season 2.0. I think that'll be part of it, but there's so much capital is coming on chain. And while like Dobbins shows the total crypto market cap, that's just one look. Like while it's 2.59 trillion, really nothing in the big scheme of things. It was 800 million in 2023 after the last mania. So, and this is like just one thing here. This is just one, like the total crypto market cap isn't inclusive of everything that's happening in the stablecoin world, everything that's happening on Hyperliquid. There's more things happening high level, more funds coming on chain. And will all those people want to flex some digital identity? No, probably not. Some will. But to your point of like, what's the and? I think that's what we're starting to see. I think that's one of the catalysts you're seeing with the run on apes and mutants right now is there's a real and there. This month alone, dozens.
What is the end? What is the and, though? If you had to define that right now, what is the and?
It's the best club, not just on the internet, period. Like you can't join another social club for a couple grand and network with thousands of other people, many of which are very successful, like multimillionaires, billionaires in the club. These you can't go join. You can go join a Soho house. It's going to cost you more than it would to pick up a mutant today. And just because you join a Soho house, like, might you get lucky and run into an Adam Weitzman type individual in there? Maybe. Unlikely. Where you join the club, you're a DM away. Like, he's accessible. Like, you go join a Soho house, you're not going to go be hanging out at a, an intimate event at Snoop's compound. Like, the clubhouse, while I know many people like say, oh, it's just Miami, that's not, what does that do for people globally? That's just one piece of what they're doing for networking in the in real life club. So the access is real. Like, the club membership is real, and social clubs are having a moment. Like, there's some new startup now that's basically trying to raise billions of dollars off friends, off like real life, because that's how far we've gotten away from in real life connections, and how much of a demand there is for humanity, that I think as we get more and more. An idiot, I don't know what, maybe take a lap. I tried to add you and it's giving me some errors. We'll try it one more time. If that doesn't work, take a quick lap and we'll get you up here. But I think as you I've been talking about like the whole social club from a retail establishment standpoint for a while. They're popping off. Like, they're having a moment. And Board Club was early to it. Like, this idea of a digital club that's not just digital in nature, they're booming. Like, that's the meta right now. From hot, from the saunas and cold therapy type places that are going the community approach, to the kava bars, to just the pure social club plays. Like, they're booming. Not just Miami, in many markets across the country. And most of them are significantly more expensive than the cost of a mutant today. Now, setting up our next guest here in a minute, he's being gracious, going to let us get through hands. I think part of that comes back to royalty protection. What's going to bring in more builders to experiment and do more things? What's going to bring a builder in to do the next thing on chain? Because a lot of the builders, a lot of talent went the AI route. They left crypto, went to AI because that was the next way. You could go buy a Mac Mini for $500, and next thing you know, you got $1 million business, or at least that's what the hope was. That's what the mini, like the NFT gods of the world were selling the dream to people, is like, oh, you can go buy a Mac Mini, it's going to change your life. Well, that's not quite that easy. I'm not knocking anyone that's deep in the AI space. It's just, you still have to have a great idea. You still have to execute. You can be more efficient in doing it, but you still have to do the thing. I think it's only a matter of time before that next meta that would be an attractive place for builders to build happens on chain. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't think it's just NFT PFPs. I don't think it's just in a digital identity, but when that moment happens, when there's a wave of new builders coming on chain to build things, the tech is greater than ever before. Thanks to software protocols, platforms like Unvault, we actually have ways for these builders to launch pretty easily, low cost, and protect royalties, to continue to earn royalties. I think and then when they start building, when they start experimenting in this space, oh, I want to meet more people in this space. Where do I go? Again, that brings people right back into the NFT world. Like, there is paid group chats that will cost you more than it is to pick up a mutant. I know I'm biased. I'm pretty confident when I say that you're going to make more impactful connections in the Bored Ape Yacht Club than you will in Andrew Tate's group chat. No offense to anyone that's paid to chat with Andrew Tate. This isn't like, but I'm not making this up. This is real stuff. This exists in the world today, from country clubs, social clubs, paid group chats. And so it's not just digital identity, it's access, it's networking. It is a real club, both physical and digital. And I think when that next moment happens, whether it's RWAs in the form of Pokemon cards or domains or something that, again, we haven't We haven't even hit on yet. Or high offense to anyone who's paying to chat with Andrew Tate. Yeah, I kind of agree. I was just being friendly. I didn't want to alienate anyone. I try not to be political here on the show, but I kid. Let's do this. Let's get around these hands. I do want to get Aaron in here. He's been super patient. By the way, Aaron, if you want to join this conversation, I'm guessing that's you behind the Unball account. You're more than welcome to do so as well. Just flash me a wave or a hand, and we'll bring you in before we get into our Inside the Vault segment of the week. But I think I believe Ilan was next, and then Machiavelli, then Hizzy, then an idiot. Ilan, GM, what brought you up this morning?
Yo, GM, dude, what a great intro like that. That sort of monologue at the beginning really touched on a lot of topics, and getting into the weeds on some of these topics is going to be clutch, right, for the evolution of the space. So I just wanted to mention a couple of things to highlight the Clarity Act. I mean, I think the reason that they're under the gun to get it done is that the midterms are going to shift the balance of power to the Dems, and basically, all the money that poured into the elections the last cycle got people elected to get this done, right? Like all the Coinbase money, went to people to try to get this thing done. And I think a lot of people are going to lose their seats. A lot of pro crypto people are probably going to lose their seats. So I think that's why they feel like they're under the gun, and if they don't get it done now, then it's not going to get done, because after the midterms, there's not going to be that group of people in office that are willing to sort of negotiate and get it properly. I mean, get it done the way we want it done, right? So,
speaking of, real quick interjection, Joe brought this up too. Loomis is done. She announced her in November. Her replacement is elected, so they're in place in January. And she's been a huge ally for crypto in the Senate, pushing forward a lot of these bills. And once they lose her as an advocate, like there's someone new has to step up, whether it's her replacement, direct one-to-one, or someone else, ascends into that lead ally role for crypto. It's not just a Republican Democrat thing. It's you kind of need a sponsor. These things need a sponsor. They need someone to spearhead this stuff. It's important for us. It's not nearly as important for all the other major stuff happening in the world to all these Congress people. It's just not.
Yeah, and why it's gotten why there's a hitch in the giddy up, right? Is that the banking sector doesn't want this to happen. Like, they don't want native yield, and that's why we're hung up. So they don't want the competition there. So I think that's a huge one. I think getting that through allows what we're talking about, right? The next evolution, that Joe was mentioning, right? And that's the next evolution of the space. Once we have clarity, you have these communities able to, again, sort of innovate on, who they are, what they're doing. I mean, there is this sense of it. I mean, I'm with you. I feel the loaded spring at the moment. And I think that, once you get, a Clarity Act in, once you get, some regulation that makes sense to founders, because they don't want to go out on a limb and get hosed, right? Like, particularly when we start talking about regulators like the SEC or CFTC, those are people that you don't want to fuck with as an NFT founder that is, struggling with their startup, and you know what I mean? Like that regulatory overhang is a tough one. But once you get clarity, and once you get the ability to, to start these organizations in the context of, building internal incentive mechanisms, building the ability to potentially dole out equity to community members, then you get a real flywheel effect. You get incentive mechanisms within organizations that allow sort of them to set up in a networked fashion, where you can, again, incentivize people within the community to co-create the brand with you. And you can incentivize them with real sort of equity, real stake in the company itself. So I think, like what Joey's saying, what's the right? And I think, largely that's the evolution and that's the precipice that we're up against right now. Is once we get a little bit of clarity, then that sort of unleashes these communities, unleashes these founders into a real innovative zone. And I think, when that happens, it's going to be huge. And I think, like, largely with crypto itself, it's weathered the storm pretty well, right? Like, the vicissitudes and volatility in the market, like you mentioned, Bitcoin's 78. I mean, like, we're weathering the storm, and that proves, the resilience of crypto itself. Like it's not going away in the face of all this volatility and geopolitical strife. And I think like the real overhang is are we going to, is the real economy going to go into a recession, right? Like that's kind of the fear out there. And I think like the last time that we saw this happen, and it goes directly to your point about the ability to make money on chain, being differentiated, from, the quote unquote real economy, and having the ability to make money on chain much more accessible than like going out and getting a job. And especially entry level job. So, if there is some sort of black swan, or if we do sort of go into a recession, I mean, the last recession, like the COVID shutdown, that was huge for us, right? And that's been my sort of worry is that we're going to go into a recession. All these, these prices are going to pull back, but just in the midst of the conversation that you were having earlier, and the monologue to open the show is like, it's actually probably beneficial to this space if the real economy actually contracts. We see, a revaluation of stocks, because that's going to pull a lot of people that went over there back here. And so there's real power and momentum there. And yeah, dude, I'm with you. Like beach ball underwater, spring loaded. I'm looking forward to the next little bit.
Yep. No, well said. I just reiterating that it might take some time, and it is going to be, I still think there is the next thing we're not talking about yet. We're not thinking of yet. It's just when the next thing happens, when the next DeFi season, when the next NFT season, when the next meme coin season, fill in the blank, whatever's next, there is more to support a silly season than ever before, because of all this added, not just capital, but all these new participants on chain. Are the new participants buying new NFT buyers? Not yet. But the next time there's some crazy silly season, there's a lot of participants that are ready to go, that are one step away. And because the tech's made such incredible leaps, and like they're not going to have to learn how to download a MetaMask wallet and bridge to Polygon. Like it's just, everything is so much easier. There's so much supporting a crazy fun season than we've ever seen before. It's just a matter of time. We just need that next thing. And I don't like, if anyone's telling you they know exactly what the next thing is, they're probably making it up. Oh, and if they tell you when it's going to be, I just think that we're closer to it than we are farther away from it. And you can sense the real momentum building. It is same people. It's consolidation. It's a flight to quality. It's other people sensing that, hey, something's happening. Where do I want to position my chips before things get silly? And I think that's where it's just driving home that the supply of specifically the NFTs is just so small relative to any other asset class. It's just, there's so few of these things, quality ones, that it doesn't take much to really send things and get them crazy. We're going to go Machiavelli, then Hizzy, let him take a victory lap on his U-Mutant, then an idiot. And we do have Ernest join us behind the scenes as well. Aaron actually is going to get in on this conversation before we get inside the vault. So we'll go Machiavelli, Hizzy, an idiot, and then Aaron to comment on this, and then maybe transition to inside the vault. But Machiavelli, thoughts?
Yes, sir. You kind of covered it, like whenever you were talking to Joey and letting him know about the club and stuff like that. What I wanted to reiterate and stuff like that. But essentially, also, like a lot of the new members that you see coming in, they're buying to join the club. They're not sitting here trying to buy to sit here and flip or whatnot. And I think that we've left that mentality.
How many new members though? Like how many new
all-time high? All-time high. I'll go pull the exact
all-time high, brother.
Yeah, it really is.
350.
It's like
at the beginning of the year.
We'll go to Hizzy next. I don't think Hizzy just bought his mutant to try to grind out a 0.1 ETH flip. Like there's Hizzy is one of, I would say dozens, but I think it's hundreds of people like Hizzy just in the last couple weeks. Dort and
I'm gonna say it right now. Joey sounds like he's got copium. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna say it.
I sense the copium too. It's double copium because he's got to look at Hizzy's Fire Grail Mutant that he just picked up. Hizzy, am I correct in thinking, is my assessment right, that you didn't pick up this Grail Mutant just to try to grind out a 0.1 ETH flip?
Oh, Cap, do not follow me for financial advice. When I started shopping, they were 0.7 something. I could have 2 and a dog or 2 for what I paid. No, I bought my Grail because this is what I wanted. To give you a kind of correlation of like saying you're joining a club or why I joined this club, I hang out with a lot of wealthy car owners in Houston. They have car clubs. I mean, you're talking multiple supercars, half a dozen Rolex. And I spent some tag money on a Mutant. If I bought a Mutant tag, they're not going to let me in their functions. Yes, I get in them now with my camera, but they all know I'm there because of that. Now I'm a part of this club. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm excited. Izzy's Grizzy is glaring from ear to ear.
Yo, congratulations, his Yo, I'm so excited.
Fucking go, Macaroni. Also, straight up, Joey, the wonderful human that I bought it from has a kid. They're all into Pokemon. He hadn't heard of BAYC. So don't think that apes don't onboard people to IRL NFTs.
I think
I didn't think that at all. Thank you, Izzy. I appreciate you.
I also think that's part of it as well, is some of it, like even before he picked up his Mutant, Hizzy's been to events. I had a chance to play. I'm finally getting recovered. It's Wednesday, and I'm finally not sore from playing paintball on Saturday. I did not think I'd ever say those words out loud, but shockingly sore after I mean, if you saw the pics, like I still play sports like I'm a 18-year-old athlete. Like I will go hard. I'm not just there to like go through the motions. And what I don't realize until maybe like 24 to 48 hours after the fact is my body is still not that of an 18-year-old. And like this, I'm not even joking. Like today was the first day I was actually able to like spring up out of bed. Like I was like creepy old man. Like, why am I so like slow moving in the morning and like standing up, like, you know, using my, like it was, and I had no idea why until I went a little hard playing paintball for a few hours on Saturday. Anyways, part of it is those of us that have got to experience that, we realize the value in that. Like when I said like Mutants are underpriced, because like it's a lifetime membership to multiple of those unique experiences. And you know, I'm not going to go back and doom and gloom it. I do want to get through all these hands. We got Aaron and Ernest been super patient and letting us continue to keep the conversation flowing here this morning. I saw some people talking about like how, I'll see if I can go find the post because I won't do it justice, but it was like someone talking about how hard it is to be a man in your 40s. They're like, no one cares about your problems, not your friends, not your wife. You've got all the pressure and stress of providing, supporting a family. You got your parents are aging. You got to be thinking about them and their health and how you can help them. You got kids heading away to college soon, and it could be a very lonely time for not just adult males, but that's how this post was worded. And I think, man, how lucky am I? I don't feel any of that stuff. I've in the last 5 years, I've gained more friends than any period in my life. The only thing close would have been the 4 years in college. The only thing close in my adult life where I've been able to meet new people that are interesting and stimulates my brain and people I enjoy hanging out with. It's very, very unique. And there's real value in that. It's why social clubs are having a moment. It's why country clubs exist. It's not for golf. Yeah, I know some people go and they join just to play golf all the time. I think it's probably the minority pay the crazy initiations and annual fees just to play golf. It's status, it's access, it's networking, it's friends. And you say, oh, you're buying your friends? Sure. Buying, like I'm buying access to like a filter of friends, if that makes sense. Like I know that there's not even things in common, but it's not just some, random riffraff off the street. we this has been we're invoking all the hands, all the OGs rocking their old and new PFPs joining us on stage. We're gonna go Machiavelli, and then we got to get Aaron in here to get his thoughts on this, and we'll see if we can flush the rest of the hands before we get inside the ball. Go ahead, Mac.
I think that, you know, what we're also seeing is like with like this energy that like kind of like the Bored Ape Yacht Club is the reason that every single one of these other NFT companies wanted to exist and be a fucking collection or a club or anything like that. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I'm going to tell you the proof is in the pudding. Okay, but I think we're seeing a resurgence of that actual energy that created this ecosystem, and people wanting to belong, and old ones waking up, new ones coming to join. But like 5 years into this thing, the memberships are up, and you know, what a time to be alive with new leadership. Like they promised us a metaverse years ago, and now we got it. And now that's cooking too. So like there is a plethora of things to be excited about coming from like this ecosystem and stuff like that, and why people want to join. And Joey, it's funny when you're sitting on the outside looking in, not understanding. But when you're sitting on the inside looking out, you know, you don't have to laugh because you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best part. And like, yo, I'm just like, for people like Hizzy, like I've been hanging out with Hizzy for years and years. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been a A1 since day one. And like for him joining the club, like that is a value add like no other to me. You know what I'm saying? And then yo, Space City Apes just got a new ape. You know, that's what I call them out here in Houston, by the way, Space City Apes. You know, because apes went to space. Anyways, yeah, yo, Cap, thank you for having me up. I appreciate you so much. By the way, I did buy the only mutant Murtis with the cigar in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bright-eyed, but yo, that is a fucking grill if you've ever seen one.
Congrats, or across the board. An idiot. I did say we go to you next, and then we got Aaron in here. An idiot. I'm hands are hit or miss this morning, so an idiot, if you want to get in here, and then Aaron, you are on deck.
It's a pretty quick, basic thesis and argument. I love what you guys are saying about the Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything, and access and this, that, and the third. But my argument is very simple. NFTs as PFPs as a vanity item on a long enough timeline will succeed solely based on the vanity side. It's really that simple. I mean, you've got Birkenstock bags and Labubus and Rolexes. You've got a million data points of just exactly this. People are willing to spend, way more money than the item is worth based on its utility, just to stun on each other.
Yep.
And, the simple reality is people are online more rather than less year over year. So, as more and more people begin to be chronically online, people will care. I mean, people say the digital identity thing like it's a joke, but it's real. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, people want to stun on each other. People want to feel cool. People want to have a vanity item. It's that simple. On a long enough timeline, dude, digital identity will continue to increase in relevance, not decrease in relevance. So there you have it. I mean, take all the utility away. If NFT PFPs were just that and that alone, they will still, the right ones will still go up in value over time. Anyway, that's my thesis.
That's a great take. I agree. Over the long enough time frame, and emphasizing that, like that could be a decade or longer. Like if you look at a lot of the collectibles, took a long time. I did see another take yesterday as well. I should start bookmarking these so I can have them easily just flash on the screen so you don't think I'm making this stuff up. But the take was something to the effect of like, now that diamonds can be created in a lab and Rolexes can be fake and you can't differentiate a real from a fake, and a lot of the quote unquote luxury items, a lot of the in real life flexes can be faked. It's just another, you can't fake the blockchain records. Like it's just like most of us can probably identify just by looking at something, whether it's a real part of a NFT that's in the real collection or it's a derivative. But all you got to do is check the on-chain records, and you there's no faking that. Like I think there's something. So, and maybe this is where it's that RWA, where the BZ meets the true purely digital native assets, is what sends it to the next level. Is once people start realizing that it's better to transact Pokemon cards on chain for X, Y, and Z reasons. It sends people down the rabbit hole. That gets people exploring. and you don't need everyone. Like again, I just can't keep reiterating the quantity of these things is so small that it doesn't take much for things to get silly again. We will get to Achilles. We will get to 6. Appreciate you all jumping up. I got to get Aaron in here because I've kept him on ice for far too long. I also see we got Ernest in the green room. But Aaron, thoughts on this conversation this morning? I am excited to get in. I even queued up a question for Ernest in the chat that I set up yesterday. It's going to, I think, blow some people away. But thoughts on this conversation so far this morning?
Yeah, I understand. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Cap. I understand being nervous about a rally. Oh, we've been here before and we've been hurt, we've been burned. I think it's not crazy to think that our industry can and will recover. And it is like, someone's going to hold a hand up. Who's been hurt? Who's going to flinch? Right? Like all of us here. But we're all still here. A lot of us are. And look, I have seen grown men run to a Pokemon vending machine in a grocery store. I have seen, thousands of people line up for a chance to talk about their favorite movie or comic book character. Collectibles just by themselves are a multi-billion dollar industry, whether it's anime, manga, comic books, art, music, whatever. But and I get that, but that's just the tip of the iceberg here. Yes, there are many applications to the technology, right, to prove that something's real and digital identity, etc. There's so many reasons why NFTs are important and can make a comeback. And speaking about the social clubs, I'll take any chance to remind people that I was a member of the New York Friars Club for 11 years. Which
what did that cost? What was your initiation? What was your annual dues, if any? Help, because I think, while I'm not rushing to join some highfalutin country club, I also have been part of clubs and paid dues and been a member of things before. And I think most people here, we see, oh my gosh, it's who's going to pay 1.35 ETH to buy a mutant to join this like I think a lot of people who haven't paid those dues or fees don't really understand collectively how much demand there is for this stuff and how expensive a lot of them are. So do you mind sharing what was your initiation or ongoing fees, or was it free when you talk about the Friars Club?
No, it was not free. But first of all, you're talking about if you're even allowed to join the club. And I'm not talking about like a lot of the racism or anti-Semitism that existed, for decades, where people just weren't allowed to join. I mean, like for instance, the Friars Club's heyday in the 70s and 80s, there was a years-long waiting list to even become a member. Like you just could not become a member. And there are other clubs like that as well. I got in when I was young, compared to people at the Friars Club. I was 29, so they had age brackets for payment. So I paid $500. I think my initiation, I don't quote me on this, but I think my initiation might have been like $1,000 or something. But the people that were over 40 or 50, their initiations were much more than that. And you had an annual due. It was like 5 or 10 grand, but then you also had a quarterly minimum in the dining room. So they had a physical building, they had a dining room, and you had to spend, and again, I may be wrong on this, but I think if you were fully of age, I want to say it was like $500 a quarter, that if you did not spend, they would just charge you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the Friars Club, where I don't know, maybe, but it's also not a one-time purchase, right? It's an initiation fee plus annual dues. Same thing with like Soho House or any other club. You pay an initiation and then you pay, quarterly or annual dues, and potentially other. We got hit with assessment fees, when they had to do maintenance on the building. So
that, and then a lot will have a monthly or quarterly social spend. Like you got to spend $1,000 a month in the in the lounge, in the clubhouse, on food and beverage.
Yes, that's what I said. Yes, so so it was quite expensive. And buying into a club like Bored Ape Yacht Club, for me it was about $250. But buying into Bored Ape Yacht Club is a one-time purchase, and so far they have not. Yeah, you pay. You don't really even pay to go to Ape Fest if you're an ape. They refund your ticket, for your ticket. There's not a lot that you have to pay for if you're an ape and you want to do ape things. You're in.
Yep. And it's like many things. You're going to get more out of it the more you put into it. And I don't mean like
with the Friars Club. Yeah, I mean, if you hung out, if you networked, if you spent time, yeah, you would get access, you would meet people, but you had to put in the time, you had to put in the effort. If not, then you had a little membership card, and that's all you had. So it's just like anything else, where you get in what you put out, just like you said.
Yep. Good stuff. Let's do this. We got a couple more hands, and then we will come back to Aaron and Ernest. I have a question for Ernest that he's just answered in the chat, so I will share with all of you.
One thing. Just want to tease one thing for our segment. There is a new thing that we've developed, which I think will make the launching and selling and holding of NFTs a lot more interesting. That's the tease. I'll be quiet.
Good tease. Like you've done this once or twice before. Let's go 6, and then we'll go Achilles. 6, GM. It's been a long time. I think we've had you on stage before, but it's been a minute. Welcome.
Yeah, Captain. What's
GM.
good?
What's good, man?
Yeah, I've been on base for since October, and it has been non-stop onboarding TradFi into Web3. With preview signing, people can just sign in without even knowing what MetaMask is. So when you think about the apes, there's just 30K apes and millions of people coming into Web3, even if it's through stable coins. So I don't know. I only see up for apes. I've seen up only for apes for a long time. We have an active metaverse. We hang out in there every week, twice a week. Clubhouse and Welcome Apes. Even for me that Monday with the cartel, it's only up only I see for apes. The supply is just so little. And think about Kodas. Kodas are about how many thousand? Supply is so little. We have millions of people coming in from TradFi. Base is pushing, Solana is pushing. And these people want to come on chain and flex and show their folks that they're doing good, and they want to have quality connections. I don't see how apes don't go ballistic, bro. I don't see personally.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's going to be up only. I think things will be volatile, but I think it was an idiot.
100%. It will peaks and it will retrace and all of that, but it's up only because the supply is too little. 30K apes is not a lot of apes at all. At all.
Yeah, I think it's not very many, and it can happen very fast. I don't think there's going to be some massive waves of millions of people coming in like there was last NFT season, but over a long enough timeline, because there is real value, there is real utility. An idiot talked about the digital flex. It's not just those of us that are deep in the crypto streets. You still have Jay-Z still rocking a CryptoPunk. There's where, I see, Joey just talking about the in real life club and what apes get at from other side. If the other side's a success, with those two things being successful, I don't see apes sitting between 10, 15 ETH. If those two things find product market fit and success, who knows what apes floor price will be long-term. But people going for Azuki, Pudgy Penguins, and other PFPs back to 10 ETH is kind of crazy. It is until it isn't. It is right now because we don't know what else there might be. And is there room for 100 clubs like the Bored Ape Yacht Club? And not right now. There's not enough people here right now for that. And you probably don't need
Yeah, true.
100 that are a social club that's digital and online. But we talk about all this favorable crypto policy and regulations and things changing. Like, I said it with OSF on Friday. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more crypto native companies lean into the equity approach and gifting some of their holders a sliver of equity. It's not about the equity, but it is. It's not about it's not about the holders earning generational wealth off a sliver of equity, because I don't even know. I think it was maybe 20% of Rec Drinks equity they gifted to holders. 10-20% of a startup is nothing. It's not non-material if you're going to spread that across thousands of people, but it signals alignment. And I think beyond whether it be equity or I think we will see paths towards revenue sharing, maybe from royalties, maybe from in real life business. Like, this is, by the way, Aaron left us with a good cliffhanger, so I'm doing my part to return the volley and set up the next conversation. Like, there's a path to these things, and I think maybe some teams have been working on this stuff. They're not going to launch this stuff in the depths of a bear. I think we're now at a point where we're kind of coming out. That was my point of the forward-looking statement from the here where we are in November is I think we're close to exiting this depressed state of fear and greed and single digits. And I think we'll see more crypto native brands start experimenting again, start innovating again, start doing new things. And I don't know what's a proper Pudgy Penguin floor price if all of a sudden 20% of all the revenues that Igloo's generating goes to the holders. And I'm not saying they're doing this. I know it's not a security. Don't go buy a Pudgy Penguin with this sort of expectation. I'm just saying, yeah. I think we might see some more stuff like this over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. And when that happens, you're going to see new speculators. Some of these people who might just be on Hyperliquid trading oil on the weekends now, they're that much closer. They're in the room. And then they go to Art Basel and they see, oh, everyone's going to this party on Saturday at the clubhouse. What is this clubhouse thing? And they go and they experience one. It's like, oh, I want to get in that VIP. Like, it's just, you can see a path to this snowball really picking up steam. And it's not back to the whole supply thing. It's just, it really is a fixed, limited supply. Achilles, appreciate your patience. Go ahead and get in here, and then we will get inside the vault.
Appreciate you, Cap. Hi, everyone. Ellen, miss you. Machiavelli, Joey, love you guys. Real quick, I have 3 thoughts I want to add to this conversation. First of all, I've been collecting for the longest time. I collect like old air-cooled Porsches, watches, you name it. And to be honest, like, I've never experienced a collecting experience similar to NFTs. Like, if you really look at what's the supply for, you mentioned Rolex, Gab, and Rolex produces over 1 million watches a year. And they play this game where you go to the AD and you want to ask for a specific model, a Wimbledon or whatever, a Pepsi, and they say, oh, it's not available, and then they sell it through back channels to secondary markets, and then these resellers sell you the same watch for twice the price or whatever. All of this is unprovable supply. You cannot prove how much supply there is. You don't know, and I challenge anyone who could tell me how many are there in Rolexes, how many Rolexes are there anyway, and people still buy it for 10K, 15K, 20K. So we're coming into a world where collectors are becoming more kind of, in a way, critical of what do they want to collect, because we understand that AI is coming in, jobs are going to be less. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be struggling to rewire their lives, to restructure their lives based on the new AI meta, the new kind of job market, or maybe universal basic salary. I don't know. But the thing is, collectors are becoming more and more aware. I don't want to buy something that just says $10,000 or $15,000. I want to buy something that has a narrative. That's number one. Number two, that has a clear, transparent, super valuable, super clear supply. And that's what we have here in NFTs. And I do think that Bored Apes and CryptoPunks have won the game in this field for the 2021 cycle. We've won the game. The Bored Apes and Punks have proven that they are collectibles and will remain collectibles for the foreseeable future. And I think that maybe to your point, Cap, I don't think that NFT PFPs are going to come back the way we saw them in 2021. But I do think that the apes and punks are going to remain as top notch NFT PFPs. That's my thought. That's number one. Number two is if you look up a guy called Steve Cohen. Look up a guy called Steve Cohen. I don't know if some of you watched the series Billions, and it's pretty interesting because it mimics the story of a guy called Steve Cohen who had a hedge fund, used to do insider trading. Super smart guy. Then he got off a deal with the SEC and like kind of settled everything and then moved to something else. And guess what he moved to? If you want to go and check what he owns and what he bought in 2019, he bought a company called he bought PSA.
Oh, not the same Steve
and he
Cohen?
bought
Oh,
PSA.
sorry.
Yeah, no, he bought PSA. And now, if you want to rate any collectible card, you go to PSA to freaking rate it. So he wanted the data on collectibles because he understood that the next meta is going to be collectibles, and he wants to play the kind of insider game that he played in slash quote unquote billions 10 years ago, 20 years ago in the collectible game because he understands, and a lot of people understand that the next market is going to be collectibles, and what better than provable supply collectibles. And that's my second thought. My third thought is really I've never made more friends than I made in the Bored Ape community. Wherever I go, I meet a lot of people that are in the club, and I'm so proud to be part of this club. I love you guys. Thank you, Cap, for organizing this each and every day. And I want to give a huge shout out to Cap for continuing through bull and bear, and that's really something I cannot stress enough. I join these spaces religiously. I love you, Cap. Love everything that you do. And thank you so much for having me on Space.
No, my pleasure. Appreciate you. Appreciate the kind words and appreciate y'all being here, adding to the conversation. We're now 45 minutes long from our special guests today, but they've been very generous with their time and very patient. And it is this community that makes the show. It'd be pretty boring if I was just talking to myself every day, and really appreciate all of the ongoing support throughout the years. And I truly enjoy it. Grateful to be here. Let's do this. Let's do a proper play-in. We'll add Ernest to Aaron, and I've got some pretty wild data. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. I'm going to read a quote from another chat as we continue to tease the next conversation. Someone who's not nearly as excited about the current NFT resurgence as some others here on the stage, and not swapping his PFP back yet, at least not in Discord. But he says, the only thing I see as a way to bring monetary value back to holders is royalties. That way they can focus on the business that is aligned with the company revenue and holder value. Migrate the effing contracts. Bored Ape Yacht Club probably can't since they burned the contracts, he put in parentheses. But this idea of bringing back royalties to the space, when they went away, it did have an impact. You combine losing royalties with the incentivized bidding and the NFT marketplace for points, like those two things were they're not knocking on Blur or OpenSea or any of the other marketplaces, but the reality is like the mechanics were it was ongoing constant headwind towards floor prices, towards momentum. Serious people weren't going to come in when they knew there was a holder waiting to dump 100 a particular item into bids, and then you started losing not only the idea of the volatility, the impending sell-off. It was attracting flippers and traders, people looking to grind out that 0.1 flip or even a negative flip, but they were earning points for it, as opposed to people like the Hizzies of the world who wanted to join the club. It was an aspirational goal. They wanted to buy something because they wanted in. They wanted the thing. They didn't want to make a small profit on the thing. And further, talking about these royalties and more royalty protected contracts. Actually, let me do a proper play, and then I'll share some pretty eye-opening data, courtesy of our friends over at Unvault. This is Inside the Vault, brought to you by Unvault.
Yo,
Inside the vault, put royalties back on chain. Enforcement went optional, we bringing it back again. Freeze it at the source, then you move it with ease. Claim it where you land, one live, no duplicate keys. No rappers, no doubles, identity stays intact. Clean ownership trail, royalties paid, that's a fact. No, one live, no duplicate keys.
Welcome to Inside the Vault. We've got Aaron and Ernest joining us here on stage. Ernest, I hope, am I able to share the data you just shared in the chat? So,
sure thing.
Speaking of royalties, I probably should have done a poll, but I don't want to keep people waiting. We're playing a little bit of catch up. The amount of royalties that they've not earned due to royalty NFT marketplaces going away from royalties and the race to zero there. Apes alone, $43 million. Mutants alone, $30 million. Other deeds, $26 million. Dogs, $12 million. It's 9 figures of royalties. That now, is that the most extreme end of the example? Probably. Like, I'm sure there's some high volume collections that we're trading at big dollar amounts, like Pudgies and others, that are probably going to be 8 figures as well. But just between apes, mutants, and deeds, you're basically $100 million that they've just not received because of this race to to zero royalty game, which is now coming back. We've seen, I mean, we talked about the royalty report. You look at a lot of these newer collections that have had a lot of success. The common denominator is they all have protected royalties. And then you see older collections like Quirkies we've talked about a few times. It's been, one of the big winners of 2026. They moved to a royalty protected contract before we had a solution like Unvault, where they paid, expensive dev to do all the work. And I think it's benefited them greatly. Not just is it bringing in, $1,000 a day in incremental revenue, it's mitigating them from the flippers, the short-term traders, and it's benefiting the community, not just the company, but they're benefiting the community and the holders, and those they're able to see their assets appreciate versus just being traded around on a floor and dumped into bids. Ernest, I know we had Aaron get in on that conversation we're having this morning. Before we jump into what other solutions you all might be bringing with Unvault, anything that you wanted to add on or get in on this conversation this morning? We kind of went across the many different topics as it relates to, I mean, we started crypto, but it really became more of an NFT PFP conversation. And why, what is this just a short-term pump and we're going back, to 5 ETH next week, or is this going to be sustained? And while not everyone agreed, Joey, most people seem to think that the things have started turning a little bit. Do you agree? I mean, anything else to add? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but anything else to add on this morning's conversation?
In the last month, I've been to 2 IRL events for BAYC. I was at the Vegas event with Aaron, and then Aaron wasn't able to make it because he was doing a wrestling thing. But I went to the deal at Snoop Dogg's compound over the weekend, and it's just great to see the community get together and just have fun and be able to participate in events like that. I think IRL's where it is. I think RWA's where it is with NFTs. That's a good thing for them, and then royalties. And so, yeah, we're going to bring all that to the Unvault website, or we're going to bring at least 2 of the 3 to the Unvault website with the RWAs and the royalties.
And not just royalties for those that might be hearing about Unvault or Divot for the first time, not just royalties for the collection and the brand, but we're talking about this idea of revenue sharing or royalty sharing. And not to front run you, Aaron, but I know per earlier DM, there's something else when it comes to Divot. It's not just ongoing royalties. I have an idea based on how you worded it, but do you want to get into that? Is it appropriate time to talk?
I want to get into it. Yes, I want to. Not only I want to get into it, but everybody listening will want to get into it, and I'll tell you exactly how you can get into it. So what we're talking. So first of all, who said you read a quote? You didn't say who the quote was from. Didn't you just read a quote like right before our segment?
Oh yeah, it was. I'm gonna wait to make sure he doesn't mind I out him. We're having good fun going, poking a little back and forth.
All right. Well, the person was right.
I believe he's in the space. Let me double check. I'm pretty
I was
sure.
like, did I write that? Because I agree with that 100%. So just to give everybody a little bit of an introduction. Hello, I'm Aaron Haber. This is my partner, Ernest Lee. I'm an original ape. Ernest has apes and mutants all over, tattooed all over his body, on his car. We are full-time NFTers, full-time Web3 technologists, inventors in the blockchain space. And we really, really, really strongly believe in royalties. But we understand the reality where people are kind of like, wow, royalties, why do I care? I'm not making any money off of that. And so we said, well, how can we include all the holders in the royalty ecosystem in a way that is, legal? Ernest is a lawyer, and that's where the divot comes in. And the divot, I'll just give a tiny little encapsulation for the people who may not know. And hello, everybody out in Capland. The divot means that collections can pay their holders. It amounts to a licensing agreement based on your NFTs, whatever they want to, but it starts as a percentage of the royalties for that period of time, whatever they choose, a week, a month, a year, whatever. Hopefully it's a week. And so if you are holding a heavy metal, a Bull on the Block, an STK, Foxy Fam, there are others who are signing that I can't talk about yet. When the divot goes live, then each period you'll get a piece of that divot pool, aka the same amount of a percentage of royalties, even though legally structured, it is not exactly that. But if you want to do the math, it's basically that. Ernest, you can hop in as a lawyer anytime and say, Aaron, don't say that. But the number is the same. Okay. So now that's the divot. So one, we think royalties are a principled stance. And so there is one thing I want to talk about before I get to the big thing I was talking about, is that I want to remind everybody that there is nothing stopping any current NFT trading platform from paying royalties. Nothing is stopping them from paying royalties except their own decision to not pay royalties. Okay. And even in the darkest hour of NFTs, they could have paid royalties, or they could have said, we're not going to pay royalties, even though I think that was ethically a mistake. They could have not paid royalties and paid a percentage of their trading platform fee to the collections, because that's who they're selling, the collections. Every day and every sale that happens without paying royalties, that is an active decision from those trading platforms. And we can say, well, we don't want to speak poorly of it, but we have to speak honestly. 721C, I'll say it again, is bullshit. A 721C is not a code enforced royalty magic blockchain thing. It just says to these trading platforms, if you don't honor our royalties, you can't sell them. The poor 721s, who don't have the C in back of it, they can't block the NFT trading platform. And so on those, the NFT trading platforms don't pay a royalty. Well, guess what? And by the way, I for one welcome our Figgy Overlord. I am very excited. He's a great dude, brilliant, very nice, very approachable, great ideas, both inside the space and before, well respected. Very happy about it. I love Garga, of course, but very happy. I am saying this right now in public, and you can quote me, and of course I'll tell it to Figgy, later. But hey, Figgy, we're gonna pay the full royalty on every NFT that every Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT and actually every NFT that is sold on our trading platform. Will it mean a huge rush of degens coming over to pay royalties? I don't know. Maybe not. I think we have incredible incentives, but maybe not. But I want to say to Figgy, and I want to say to all the other founders from the old school brigade that yes, we think you should migrate to a 721 on our system. You don't even have to. Even if you stay on a 721, I should say 721C. Even stay on 721, we're still going to pay your royalties. So all the Bored Apes, if you do it on our platform, yes, you will pay royalties. And I know that means that some of you won't do it, but I'm still going to say it out loud. We're going to honor creator royalties. And should a collection like Bored Ape Yacht Club decide to come over to Unvault, the community can also get their divot. Yes, Cap.
Someone brought this up earlier, and I'd actually forgotten it, just out of sight, out of mind, don't really think of it. Because the Bored Ape Yacht Club contract, I think it's just the apes. I don't think they do it with mutants or anything else. But that contract has been, I don't know if I'm using the correct terminology, frozen. They burned the keys. Like how does that impact? And sorry if this is a curveball, not trying to throw you tough questions off the jump here, but how would that inhibit them from?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't inhibit them, but also the 721s and Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of them. They aren't able to change to a 721C, so they can't. It's a non-upgradable contract, and so with Unvault, we're writing new 721Cs, and we're encouraging people to migrate or vault and unvault their NFT from the one contract to the other. And then we share. Sorry.
What's the best part about it for the original NFTs? They're not.
The original NFTs are vaulted. They still exist. They're not burned. They're still there. If the collection decides they want to go back, they can. If the collection decides they don't want people to be able to go back right now, they can. And so it's all programmable within the Unvault system.
I am biased, grateful for our partnership, and I'm rooting for Unvault, rooting for you guys. I think it's great. You're truly pushing the space forward. I'm hopeful that, and I was one who said, hey, the one I don't want to move would be my PFP. Provenance, that's about the only NFT where provenance matters to me, just because it's part of my personal journey. I minted it. It's never been sold. It's moved wallets only to transfer around to cold storage. But with your solution, I don't have to burn it. I hope this, if Yuga were to go this route of protecting royalties, I hope they work with you all, because of how you built this solution is, if I still want to get back my OG NFT that has that provenance and the one I minted, I still can go get it out of the vault, right?
Yes, it's up to the collection. The collection can say, just like Ernest said before, hey, my ape 2960, hey Aaron, when you vault and then unvault to a 721C, we're not gonna allow the original to be active. We're gonna have the 721C royalty enforced be active. They can switch that back at any time, though. So why would they switch that back? If we can convince the other trading platforms to do what we're doing and honor royalties on 721s, well, then there's no reason to lock up your 721. And the good thing about it is that, like Ernest said, they're not burned, and they're not in anybody else's wallet. They're in an escrow contract waiting for you to claim it again, right? So I would still have 2960. Nobody else has it. Nobody else can touch that NFT. It's just, is it locked to me currently or is it not? And on the provenance side, we have we do provenance by token ID, because the token ID is the thing. It's a collection across all chains, even intra-chain, ETH 721 to 721C. You'll be able to track the provenance of that token ID, not just you, but anybody. You'll be able to track it across all chains, across intra chains. If you go, like I said, if you go from 720 to 721 to 721C, so you're not losing anything, and you're not losing the original either.
It's exciting. I I don't know anything, but I think
What?
I mean, I don't know anything as it relates to Yuga's plans, but I do think that I want to say inevitable. I would be if we fast forward this time next year, I'll be shocked if they've not done something to close that gap on this $100 million plus of royalties that they've missed out on. As more in real life activations occur, from board paintball meetups to Snoop compounds to the clubhouse, I really do think that and maybe it's like, hey, you're not forced, to your point, but if you want the utility, if you want the access, you gotta play ball. You gotta, if you just bought an ape and you didn't pay royalties, well, you've got the digital collectible, but it doesn't come with any of the perks or access that those who are supporting the brand and paying royalties as we ask are receiving.
And yesterday, I mean, Figgy and Board Yacht Club announced that Grail's OTC, and so they are. I don't know what their fee is for using the OTC deck there, but I would suspect it's something near the royalty that should have been paid on those transactions.
And I like that, and I like the direction they're going in with that, and they can also get royalties on all of their NFTs via Unvault and the Divot. So and being apes, of course, we want to work with every collection. We want to get 100% market adoption to our new infrastructure, but of course, we would love to talk with we'd love Board Ape Yacht Club to come aboard. Now I did hint at something that I'm very excited about, and I am ready to share it. And I will say, I don't remember if we've ever shared this before. We have shared it on our space.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about it on this show yet. Maybe alluded to it, but we definitely didn't go deep on it.
Okay, let's go. How deep should we go? Elbow up to the shoulder. Let's go. I'm talking about a pool, of course. Dipping the pinkies in. So we're talking about the Divot, and we're talking about okay, if you hold or do whatever the collection wants you to do, hold or sell or whatever, then you get part of that Divot pool, right? Which is a percentage of the royalties, but it's done in a way where it's not exactly a percentage of the royalties, so it's not security, etc. But the numbers, that's what the numbers are. Well, we upped the ante a bit. Now we did talk about bugs, right? We did talk about the bugs collection.
Yep.
I'll remind people a little bit. We're going to have a beta collection called Bugs. I can announce that the art is being done by none other than Red Goat Queen, aka Molly, who also did the art for Blowies and for Quirklings, and continues to do great art with Pappy and Quirkies, and we love Molly. When I asked her to do the art, she said, somebody asked me if I was already doing it, and I'm like, you are now. So I'm really excited to see what comes up, because she's just, I love her work. Bugs is going to be a collection that basically, if you have a bug, you have our rewards pass for Unvault. That's how it works. And I've said this on our space, but Ernest has done a brilliant job setting up the legal foundation for Bugs, because as silly as Bugs seems, it's not. It's a very complex system. Not for you guys, but for us to set up. It is a free mint. All right. Not because we love free mints. I want the free mint meta to be over. I want people to be paid. I want founders to be paid for mints. But for this particular item, legally, it's a free mint. There are reasons for it. If you have a bug, you can earn rewards. Now, one, yes, you can get rewards for finding bugs on our platform. Haha, bugs, get it? But we want people to come in and try to break things. Of course, we have OX Quit auditing all of our contracts, so good luck finding a bug bounty. But in terms of the UI UX, yeah, sure, maybe you can find things that aren't working on the front end side or that you would like to see better. You can earn different levels of your bug. But one thing that all the bugs get, although the highest level of bugs will get the first access, is the ability to mint on our launch platform first. Okay, what I mean is, We have a collection coming up like Blowies or First Class Frenchies or SDK Babies or Buckaroos on the Block, and which are all collections that are going to be minting on our platform, amongst others. You'll get into that first minting group, right? The allow list. If you have a bug, you're in. Okay. Now, some of the information is up to the collection owner, but you're in, and it would be crazy not to be like, oh, we don't want the bugs in, right? Because it is a minting pool of people that want to mint your freaking collection, right? So in addition to everybody else, and don't forget, our minting platform is one of a kind, patent pending, where you can pay in any currency on any of the chains that we're going to be on, Abstract, Base, Ape Chain, ETH Mainnet, Polygon, what's the other one? Binance Smart Chain and Solana, with one that I was hinting at last week coming up. The EVMs are really easy to add, etc. And we'll get to all of them eventually. You can have it delivered to you on any of those chains. Huge arbitrage opportunities, okay? In addition to just make it easy for people to mint. But the bugs go first. The bugs eat first, okay? Now, why do you want to mint first? Other than just, oh, I like being first, or I want to make sure I don't get sold out, because we are going to give you, I'm going to call it first, a minter's bonus. Okay, but we're calling it the minter's divot. And here's the deal, and I hope you're sitting down and have a change of pants nearby, because this is going to get serious. If you mint and you have a bug, and then you let that NFT go that you minted, you will get a special minter's bonus, a minter's divot, every time that sucker sells. Okay. Now, the specifics are up to the collection. Okay. But let me say this, like for our collections, we'll probably do, I would do, no guarantees here, but I would say to Ernest, I want to do a 20% minter's divot in perpetuity. That means that every time an NFT that I minted in this collection, or you minted, Cap, in this collection, every time it sells, you would receive 20% of the royalty. Although legally speaking, what'd you say?
Just because I minted it.
Yeah. Okay, I still didn't hear you, but I'm just okay. So 20% of the number equal to that royalty is going to hit your wallet as long as you own your bug. Your bug is the key, right? That I remember I said it's a rewards bug. So you hold that bug, the bug has the minter's divot in it, and let's say that minter's divot is 20%. Every time that thing sells, you're getting 20% of that royalty hit in your wallet. And for me, I would do in perpetuity, because I want to incentivize minting, and I want to incentivize trading. So we were talking earlier about, well, these guys that are wash trading and blur points, and let them do it. Let them do it. The best thing that can happen to you if you have a minter's divot is that some lunatic wash trades for blur points, 100,000 times a day, but they have to pay the royalty because it's on a 721C, and you're getting 20% of whatever they sell it to themselves every single time, right? It also gives incentives for not only people to mint, like for me. Okay, so between the minter's divot and the actual divot, here's how I'm going to play the game. Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm going to try to max mint. All right, so let's say it's 10. I'm going to try to max mint whatever the hell the collection is. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell all of them. I'm going to sell all of them because I want to put them out into the world to go to work for me. Go to work for me and my bug. Okay. And then I'm going to probably hit the secondary and buy another 5 or 10 because I want to have the actual divot. Some of them I'll be holding, some of them I'll be selling. But now I have 10 whatever, blowies, let's say. That, and blowies are dolphins, by the way. That's called blowies. So there are 10 blowies that are on the secondary that are being traded all over the place because everybody knows that if you hold a blowy, you might get an actual mutant. That's what the whole thing with the blowies is. We'll talk about that a different time. Blowies just keeps on buying mutants to give to the community to sneak into the club. So I'm going to buy 10 for everybody to and I'm going to sell them. so that the blowies trade and trade and trade and trade. I hope that nobody wants to keep them. I hope people want to farm them, want to fish them, want to send them all out there because I'm going to get that Minter's Divot. And then I'm going to hold another 5 or 10 blowies, one, because I love the art. I love the community. I'm a founder. So, of course. But also I want to get the Minter's, I want to get the normal Divot, whatever that is that we'll be giving, which might be a freaking mutant. I'm probably disqualified, but I'm saying like if I was somebody else. So the calculus in terms of minting is different. It used to be, buy 5 unless you're a whale like Ernest, buy all of them. But a normal minter, I'm going to buy 3 or 5. I'm going to hope I get a big trait and hit the jackpot. We'll see if the floor goes up. I'll keep 1 or 2 just in case. Well, now it's going to be different. Now mint a whole bunch of them. That helps the collections, by the way. Sell them so that they go out and they trade. That helps you with your Minter's Divot, and it helps the collection because it creates royalties, and it helps the community because it creates royalties for the Divot. That, my friend, is the Bugs Minter's Divot. Dun dun dun.
I dig it.
And one
Even
thing
getting
is,
some skeptics saying they don't hate this bugs concept. Need to think about it more. Some of our NFT skeptics here are digging the bugs.
I'm glad they don't hate it.
and one
I
thing
know
about the bugs
that
that,
NFT people,
that we haven't said is that the bugs are then tradable. And so
yes,
the rewards aren't tied to you owning the bug, it's tied to the bug itself. And so the rewards that we give on the Minter's bonus goes to whatever wallet holds that bug.
So few questions from the chat. One is, what's the platform? Unvault. Head over to unvault.com. The Unvault account is on the stage. Go give that a follow. They've got a space tomorrow where you can get some more details as well. Aaron and Ernest are hosting those twice a week. And then second question is...
Sorry, we should tell people unvault.com is launching within the next 3 weeks. We've taken a little bit of extra time to double and triple our security after shit that's happened in the past week. So we're launching soon, but unvault.com, it's not just fancy ideas from brilliant people. It's also an NFT trading platform. And this is the platform that Bugs is going to be on, and all the other collections I was talking about. That's the collection. Sorry, Cap.
Unvault launching within the next month. How do I get bugs? How do I mint a bug? How do I get in what those are tuned in today and they're early, pre-launch? How can they participate and get their own bug?
It's literally as simple as continuing to hold some of the collections that you have or buying into collections that you don't. So bugs are going to go out first and foremost to people that are holding collections that are signed up to Unvault. Okay. So that is STK dolls, even the trashy treasure boxes, Bulls on the Block, Bears on the Block, Bulls Evo, Clutch Puppies, and Pixel Pops. Now I said all those first because those are all collections. Disclaimer that Ernest and I have either ownership of or partial ownership of, or we manage. Those are the collections. Okay. Then you've got heavy metal. Okay. You might have heard of heavy metal and Adam Weitzman and Gabe, who was at WrestleMania this weekend. We've got Foxy Fam. We've got Chumlins on bass. We've got Skelly Friends. We've got, Bad Ted Yacht Club, who's going to be the first collection after Bugs to be unvaulted on the platform. We've got Alpha Dogs. And I'm probably forgetting some. I apologize, but we'll put a list out. But if you hold any of those communities will get an allotment of bugs. Okay. And we will, nothing's in, what's what I'm going to say? I'm sure somebody's going to game it and get a bunch of bugs, but the bugs only work for you if you're actually active. If somebody figures out a way to hoard a bunch of bugs, joke's on them, they're not going to be able to really do anything with the bug, right? You must be active. And active doesn't mean farming shit. Active means like come and try the platform, make some suggestions, help us break things so that, when we go fully live, we've gotten rid of all the bugs, except that your bugs will be cool and help you mint stuff. So pick up those collections. And listen, my hope is that those collections now are way cheaper than they will be wants to start to unvault and give a divot. That is not financial advice. That is my hope. But that's how you do it. Just pick up those collections. Now, I should say we're still figuring out the number of bugs up front. Bugs are not meant to be an exclusive, like it's an X amount. Like we will release new bugs. It is our royalty, our rewards program. So we will release new bugs, but those who get bugs in the beginning will have a head start in upping their bug level to get to the point where they can get these minters bonuses for doing what we already do in the space. But now you'll get severely rewarded. Did I just blow your mind, Cap?
Did he's glitched out there.
I don't usually think it's not only bringing back royalties, but bringing back alignment, bringing back rewards for holding and participating in a way that's not going to decimate floor prices, bringing back NFT utility. Not that it went away completely, but I do feel, probably several at one point or another kind of leaned out of it or didn't want to. They felt there was some utility debt. No, we're just a digital art collection, and not there's anything wrong with that, but part of this NFT season 2.0, to tie it all back to our conversation this morning, I do feel that we're back to some innovation once again, both on chain and off chain. Things like the Clubhouse is launching soon. That's new. Is it the first social club ever? No, but I think it's innovative in the sense of how it's launching, and with the embedded community, with some gated access inside the club. That you don't have to pay, $5,000 for bottle service at a table to get access to VIP. You can hold an ape or a mutant and get that same quote unquote VIP privileges. It seems like there's more. It is a second phase. It's not, NFTs aren't back like the mania, but we've entered this second phase, and it's exciting. And it takes leaders like the two of you pushing it forward, doing new things, experimenting on chain again, and then opening up a platform, in this case, Unvault, that is going to enable even more experimenting in NFT founders and teams doing things differently. How can we drive alignment with our holders, with our supporters? And I think that's if I were to summarize the entire conversation today, is alignment. It felt for a while became like a dirty word. Like it was all about, NFTs were all about alignment and building in public and building with our community for a while. And then, we're just going to go sell things and you can become our customers, to where it feels like we've come full circle now. And many are at least making the attempt and the effort to drive alignment with their supporters and their holders. And I feel that word alignment just seems to be at the core of Unvault and everything you're all building over there. Is how can we help not only your supporters, but anyone who comes on board on Unvault? How can we help them drive alignment with their holder base?
We are giving opportunity to everyone. Okay, we're giving opportunity to the founders and the keepers, a term Uncle Matt coined in one of our spaces. You didn't found the collection, but you're running it now. We're giving opportunities to all of them to reclaim their royalties and to give people a reason to want to help you reclaim your royalties. We are, not to mention distribution on all the chains. Let's not forget that. And we're also giving opportunity to all the holders, where, as fun as it is to have an NFT sit there and look at you and cry because nothing's happening with the collection. Now you can have NFTs that get you paid because of the IP that you hold, and you don't need to know anybody. You don't need to do anything. You just need to have the NFT and just follow some very, very simple rules set out by the collection. Now you can be a minter, and you can mint, and with your bug, get this amazing opportunity for this minter's bonus, this minter's divot that we're talking about. We're giving opportunities to the traders, to the degens, huge arbitrage opportunities between chains. We are giving opportunities to the holders and the art collectors, the people that want to just come to the events. We are giving opportunities. And I'll tell you, we also have to be patient, because we have, 5 very long years of creators going through it, and all of us too, not just the founders, the creators, but the holders. But I can tell in some of the conversations that we have that people are a little timid of the new thing. And you can hear in public conversations people talking about how, well, royalties aren't that important. Don't worry about it. But those conversations are coming from the fact that they had no options before this, right? When the biggest platforms are saying, we will not pay you royalties, too bad. What are you going to do? I think the conversation is going to start to change as we launch, and people say, wait a second, these guys are paying royalties? Okay, maybe we should throw our support behind them. Maybe we should give people incentives for trading on their platform. Maybe we should sign up with them and have a collection on all these different chains. I expect that once they see we're sticking around for a while and we're giving them an alternative, that they'll come over, and dare I say that one of our dreams can come true, which is that the other platforms will start to do the right thing after years of not doing the right thing. Do the right thing, OpenSea and Magic Eden and Blur and whatever. If you're not paying royalties, pay them. You can. There's no reason you can't. I'm challenging you publicly. Pay the royalties right now. Doesn't matter if it's 721. You paid royalties before there was a 721C. Pay the royalties.
Love it. Royalties are back. NFTs are back. LeBron's 2-0 in carrying a team of plumbers and garbage men on his back. Good time too. A lot of exciting stuff happening. It's conference season heating up. We were just talking Bitcoin Vegas next week, and probably maybe some big announcements out of there. Yeah, exciting times. We will have you guys back next Wednesday.
Thank you.
There's a show, a space
Do you
tomorrow.
understand my clue? I'm sorry to interrupt your plug of our space tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Just follow on Vault or me and Ernest. Yeah, please follow us. Say hello. We are founders that want to talk to you. Doesn't matter if you are the newest collector of any thing, or whether you're the oldest founder in the space. We would love to talk with you. Come up on stage, hang out with us, DM us, whatever. Did you get my clue from last week?
Did I get your clue from last week?
Remember, I left with a clue, and you were like, "I don't know what that means." I said we're gonna be launching on a chain. Clue. I said, and it wasn't like the best clue, but I'd say, like, if you were going to have your house cleaned, you should hire the Marion maid service.
Mm-hmm.
Other people got it. We talked about it in our space, not like a secret. Ernest, you think to talk about, right? Yes.
So I didn't get it. Someone else guessed it, but my brain's not clicking. How do I? Because Mary May, Robin Hood.
You have to get inside Aaron's brain in order to get this one.
Yeah,
you have to know the story. Robin Hood's significant other, not in the original tales, but a couple hundred years after the original tales, Maid Marian. That is her name, Maid Marian.
Yeah, you're much more of a nerd than I. My brain wasn't comprehending that one.
Of course, I'm much more of a nerd. I have a 7'2" tall Chewbacca in my office. But
that's awesome. Congrats. So Robinhood, another chain where you can, if you're on Unvault, you can go multi-chain. All these chains, including one of the newest
chain, Cap. It's freaking Robinhood. Okay, like it's Robinhood. Right now they're in testnet. They're EVM. They will be one of the chains that we're working with. They know we're going to be one of the chains. I can't say that we have a giant partnership or anything, but we are going to be. If not, I think we're going to be the first platform to allow you to have your NFTs on Robinhood. Which what does that mean for trading? How much does Robinhood push, the NFTs on their chain? But when we launch Robinhood with our patent pending technology, you will have your heavy metals and your STKs and your bulls on the block and your alpha dogs and your bad Ted Yacht Clubs, et cetera, et cetera. You'll also be able to transact them on the Robinhood chain. They have to go live first, but
it wasn't the Coinbase NFT marketplace. It's going to be the Unvault marketplace on Robinhood that's going to bring the masses in to buy all of our JPEG bags.
Well, I hope so. We'll see.
In all seriousness, I'm excited. I love what you're all building. I've been excited about it for a while, and it gets closer here. You keep bringing out new stuff like these bugs. You got a lot of people excited about these bugs. Great idea. And again, new innovation, new experimentation on chain not just from Ernest and Aaron, but they're enabling others to do their own experimenting and put their own twist on all this stuff. So excited to learn more. One bit of passing, and I'll come back to you all for any closing comments or final thoughts. But one thing I wanted to get in here, it did get delayed. It was going to start, the allow list was going to start minting tomorrow, but it got pushed back just due to, as you mentioned, some security concerns in the space at large. And so decided to push back this mint with Daniel Arsham. And there was a lot of Pokemon talk earlier and digital natives and why were people going to care about NFTs? I'm not sure everyone knows or familiar with Daniel Arsham, a acclaimed artist, a Cleveland boy, hails from Cleveland, Ohio, spent some time in Miami. He is, if you want to go get one of his edition of 500, there's only going to be 300 of these avatars in the other side. To give you an idea, an edition of 500 crystallized Charizard cards, your buy now is $2,100. If you're looking for some more of the lower supply stuff, here's just a glimpse of his Christie's page: 162,000, 475,000 HKD, 400,000 HKD. A lot of culturally speaking, leaning into a lot of the IP, and has decided to work with the other side and Yuga for his next collection. Again, only going to be 300 of these. Will be minting in the other side, the first big mint of other side. And stay tuned for more on that. But we got pushed back to the kicking off. The allow list phase is kicking off on May 1st now, after it was going to be tomorrow initially. But wanted to get that in there. We talked about the Grails OTC. That is live. If you're looking for more information on Unvault, the account is on the audio spaces. If you're listening to the podcast or over on YouTube, it's just Unvault, UNVAULT on X. Shoot them a message and they will get back to you. That's also where you can find the space on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll go Ernest and then Aaron. Ernest, any closing thoughts, final words on anything we discussed today?
No, sir. My DMs are open, and we're excited about the marketplace. I was just sitting here this morning looking at the Versal that we have set up for it, and we're working through all the details, the UI UX, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Excited to see it. Aaron, will I see you? Are you doing Bitcoin Vegas? I know it's your backyard. Are you will you be hitting the conference streets next week, or just head down working towards Unvault launch?
Are you going to be in Vegas?
I'm going out for a Bitcoin conference, and then also Dominion, another one of our partners, Doma, hosts their conference. It's Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, I'll be out there kind of in and out, get in Tuesday, and then got some work duties on Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah, Tuesday through Thursday of next week, I will be in Vegas.
I mean, I'm not sure about Bitcoin yet, but I live in Vegas, so I'm expecting a DM.
Cool. Let's do it.
My final thought?
Yeah.
Okay. Beyond everybody should pay royalties.
I agree, by the way.
How about this? We have a space tomorrow, Ernest, 11 a.m. Pacific time. You come to the space tomorrow and you DM Unvault with your wallet address, and we'll put you on the bugs list. I know that's a little bit different than what I said before, that you have to be holding one of those collections, and I think you should hold one of those collections. But we'll do a little bit of promotion. You come tomorrow to our Unvault space. You give us your wallet address, and we will put you on the bugs minting list. Probably 2 or 3 weeks out from minting, but you'll get on the list.
Good stuff. Sounds like a good trade. Hang out in the space for a little bit, get access to this new innovative, not just mint, so much more than that. But again, appreciate the leadership, appreciate you all experimenting, doing new things on chain. And this is what I hope most for NFT season 2.0 is bringing back the fun, not just the club fun and flexing their JPEGs on X, but the innovation. It felt like every week, if not daily, back in 21, 22, there was something new, something exciting. And some of them, it was new, it didn't land, it didn't hit, but there was always someone experimenting and doing something new. And I sense that's coming back, and it doesn't happen without leaders like yourself taking shots. So thank you both. Appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing more. And we will be, we'll tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern Coast time. That's via the Unvault account, Unvault on X. Aaron, Ernest, pleasure as always, everyone else. Thanks so much. A lot of great conversation. I appreciate everyone who joined us on stage. Appreciate everyone who commented in the chat. and added value to the conversation. I greatly appreciate it. Really enjoyed the combo, and hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.